there's a slugfest, right? What if this is a ground and pound defensive type of game? I think this game is either going to be a shootout or a nice low scoring game. There is no going to be no 30-point game. It's going to be 40 plus or 20 and under. I feel that's the way this game is going to go. So what if it is a slugfest? What if it is a grounded, bounded, pounded out type of game? Who does it favor in this slug it out type of game? And when you think of slugfest, I want to be very, very clear. What I mean by slugfest is that it is going to be a low scoring, pound it on the ground, defense and run the ball type of playoff game, right? Definitely in your face, bruise, 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 bruise. The Lions are ranked 10th overall on the defense, giving up 318 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 14th in total defense, giving up 332 yards per game. On the rushing defensive side of the ball, the Lions are ranked 5th, giving up 93.9 yards per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 19th, giving up 123.1 yards per game. Now on scoring defense, right? The Lions are ranked 2nd on scoring defense, only giving up 18 points per game. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 8th, only giving up 20.6 per game. In red zone defense, the Detroit Lions are ranked 4th. The Buffalo Bills are ranked 16th. On third down defense, the Lions are the best on third down defense. Number 1, the Buffalo Bills are 25th. 25th. The Lions have the 4th ranked rushing offense, averaging 151 point yards per game. And the Buffalo Bills are ranked 11th in rush offense, rushing for 125.7 yards per game. The stats all seem pretty close when the rushing and defensive rushing side of the ball. But in a game, in a grounded out, pounded out, defensive flying around, you throw the stats out. You throw everything out the window. At that point, nothing else matters. What it comes down to is the it factor. What it comes down to is the grit. What it comes down to is the in-game adjustments and just the willingness to put your body on the line. And the Detroit Lions have all of that. The Detroit Lions have the it factor. They have the grit factor. They are willing to put their bodies on the line. They are willing to make in-game adjustments. What is the biggest flaw about Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills? They suck at in-game adjustments. Dan Campbell and that whole coaching staff, I have to give credit where credit is due. They make amazing in-game adjustments. And oh, by the way, did you guys forget about the blue flu? Yes, I know the blue flu talk has kind of died down a little bit, but it is still a real thing. If you guys do not know what the blue flu is, it is after you play the Detroit Lions, you lose the next game. No matter if you win, lose, or draw versus the Detroit Lions, the next game you play, you lose that game. Because you're beat up, you're sore, you're tired. The blue flu is the real deal. If it is a slug out type of game, ground and pound defense, the Detroit Lions will win this game. If it's under a 24-point game and under score for both teams, the Detroit Lions will win this game. So guys, with that being said, if it is a slugfest type of game, who do you think wins? Who do you think wins a slugfest type of game? Casey says, let's not get crazy, but I want both teams to lose. But I'd rather have the Lions win. Being a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I feel your pain, right? I feel your pain. Get the Buffalo Bills off our ass so we can get some time to breathe, right? Ant says, I'm finally catching a late night show. Let's go, baby. We are live every Monday through Saturday, 9 p.m. I'm glad you're here. James Frank says, this Thursday night football game is straight booty. This is why I don't like Thursday night games. It should be a great game. Rams versus Vikings, rivalry game, playoffs on the line. It should be a great game, but it's Thursday. Who really cares, right? John says the over-under is 53.5. Seems about right. 25 points per team, 27 points per team. Seems about right. Alpha Rob says, do not sleep on Cook, Davis, and Smith. Listen, I love me some James Cook. Hell, I still think James Cook just ran another rushing touchdown on the Dallas Cowboys from last season. I think he's up to about 28 now. James Cook is a dog. If you can get James Cook going, look out, baby. Look out. James Cook does have the ability to be an every down back. He does have the ability to really take the game over. However, Ray Davis he did have a nice little game when James Cook was like down, right? I believe he's from Kentucky, right? If I'm not mistaken. But the best 1-2 combination in the NFL is Gibbs and Montgomery. Let's just say it. Let's just call a spade a spade. They're the best 1-2 running back duo in the NFL. Nobody's better. Not even Pacheco and Hunt. Not even Saquon Barkley and Kenneth Gainwell. Not even Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, right? The best 1-2 punch is in Detroit. James Frank says, but my girl's 3-year-old daughter is loving it. She keeps yelling, go football. Let's go. I love it. I love watching little kids root for teams. I will post a video of my 4-year-old cheering on football on Sunday on the Pigskin Pundits, and it's freaking awesome, right? And Laura says, I was a victim of the blue flu. And I didn't go back and look at it, Laura, but I feel that every team that played the Detroit Lions the next week, they did lose, including the Houston Texans. No, I take that back, because the Houston Texans, they went on bye week, and then they played the Dallas Cowboys the following week, right? So I think the Houston Texans were the only team to really break the blue flu, right? James says, Lions by 7. Okay. Johns Adams in the chat over here at youtube.com/banner. He says, I'm glad you brought up what you just did. It was something like I was waiting for. The Lions never give up at all. They play through everything, and they have found every way to win and have confidence. And that is the biggest key in the NFL, right? It is not about who you have on your roster, right? Obviously, starters, having a big name player on your team is awesome, right? But let's just be honest. You are in the NFL. You are starting on an NFL team. Starters probably pretty much cancel each other out. What really makes teams better is the depth of those teams. Is the second players, right? And the third players and the fourth stringer player. Hell, the backup placeholder, right? That is where your team really starts to excel. And that is why a team like the Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 straight Super Bowls, is because of their depth, right? That is a team like the Buffalo Bills that continue to struggle in the playoffs, is because of their depth. That is the reason why a team like the Baltimore Ravens struggle in the playoffs, is because of their depth. And that is the reason why the Detroit Lions are winning games right now, and why a lot of people are talking a lot on the Detroit Lions, is because of their depth, right? When the playoffs start, they will start to get a lot of these starters back, right? Hell, I just read an article where they're expecting Hayden Hutchinson to be back by the NFC Championship game. If that happens, he may not be a game changer in the NFC Championship game, but you get him in the game, you take some few snaps, then you got a week off to get really into game shape, whatever, you got a Super Bowl, he could be a game changer. He might be the MVP, right? But you are exactly right. The Lions have it. And Aaron Glenn still resonates in my head. I've said this like every day this week, it seems like, is like, he says, we coach everybody as if they're going to start the next week. And I love that. That is my new favorite saying. Coach everybody as if they're going to start next week. And I'm taking that into my daily life, into my coaching aspect here. I'm taking that and I'm using it. Do we have kids sweatshirts? Yes, I think we do have kid sizes. John says, sun shines on a dog ass some days. It does. Twice a day, right? Twice a day. Josh says, I think Richardson for the Colts should be running back and said he's gotten I think Richardson for the Colts should be a running back and said he's a good size at 6'4", 240. Oh, the quarterback. Gotcha. So there's been a lot of talk